Hello everyone, my name is Liz and I'm obsessed with Disney. Today I kind of wanted to just do like a little sit down chat video with you guys and kind of talk about why the Disney College program isn't for everyone.
Hey you guys, I'm making some magic over here.
I've seen time and time again on so many of the Facebook groups that when people talk about vlogs, they say that the vlogs only show the good happy parts of the program. And I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a real talk here. I've mentioned in a couple of my vlogs in the past that I am not having the time of my life, and at one point I was really super miserable. I didn't really tell a lot of people this yet, but I'm sorry Mom if you're gonna hear this. At one point during my program, it was like the middle of the night and I was like face down in the grass in front of my building just sobbing, and some girl had to come up to me and was like, hey, like, are you okay? And she helped me back to my apartment. It was really tough in the beginning. I feel like I can only really speak to my experiences on the program. At this point now I've completed a program 2 years ago and I've been on this current program for quite a while now, and I think I'm at a point where I can logically look back and reflect at my time and not be as irrational anymore. At one point I started to sit down and make this video back in February and it wound up being like 20 minutes long and I was like crying the whole time. Early on in my program I would just cry every single day. And I think a lot of that is due to how different I felt that this program was to my last program. My last program, it was absolutely perfect. Like what you saw in my videos is what you got. I will link to a playlist of all of my DCP videos from my last program 2 years ago if you haven't seen them yet. I was so super happy with where I lived. I had a perfect apartment, I had perfect roommates, I had a good amount of money, and I had perfect hours at work. Like I pretty much worked 10 to 6 every single day. It was incredible. This time around it's very different. I had a very large struggle at the beginning of my program because an advantage program, though it only seems like it's 2 months more than a regular spring or fall program, whatever, it makes a big difference because, you know, things fly by once you start doing the program and then suddenly you're like, oh no, I have 2 months left or whatever. But when you think about it, like 7-8 months is a long time. And towards the beginning of your program, you keep reminding yourself, I am here for 8 months, 7 months. That is such a long time. And it kind of helps throw everything in the kitchen sink, if you will, all of your emotions, and it just makes things tensions run a little higher, I guess. I feel like a big difference with that was my job was not what I was hoping it would be. So last time I worked in costuming at Magic Kingdom. I still work in costuming at Magic Kingdom this time around. And in costuming, when you're on the college program, you usually get 2 skills. If you're an advantage CP, sometimes you get 3 skills. It was just a regular spring program last time around. I had 2 skills. My first one was operational costuming, which I spent a good majority of my program in. That's where I said I work 10 to 6 every day. And that is where, you know, just general cast members come and pick up their costumes. And then my second skill was the character room in the Magic Kingdom. And that, much like many other parts of the Magic Kingdom and throughout the parks and resorts here, CPs work the late shifts because we are open 2 hours after park close. So all of our character friends can come and get their garments, you know, making sure they're in good quality to greet all the guests at the Magic Kingdom. So this time around, my first skill was back in the Magic Kingdom character room. I was like, great, I'm comfortable, I know what I'm doing here, and I know some familiar faces. The thing is though, I just had you are only there for a short amount of time as a CP, and CPs come cycling through all the time. And at that point, it was, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, literally nobody remembered who I was. Maybe one person kind of thought I was familiar. And that was really hard for me, that like I spent all this time working with all these people and they'd be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you. And it's like, oh, well, we kind of spent a couple months together working side by side every day and you don't remember me. So that was very difficult for me, and the fact that I was treated by a lot of full-timers as, you know, a stupid CP who doesn't know what they're talking about. Meanwhile, I was definitely much more capable than a lot of other CPs who came in when I did, because, you know, I had that prior experience. So work was very difficult for me in the beginning. I was very unhappy just with my job in general. I was unhappy with my apartment situation. You know, now I've realized like those things really don't matter. But I was unhappy, so you guys kind of saw my apartment tour. Lex and I got a really tiny room, and we're still paying the same amount in rent as Kat and Sarah. So we're paying $128 a week for a tiny little room like that. It didn't feel worth it to us. Also, it's not like we were in a building right towards the front where it'd be convenient, near the bus stop and the grid and all those kinds of things. We are literally in the last building in the entire Commons. When you look out our window, you see I-4. Like, it's not, you know, Disney housing anymore when you look out our window. So that was really bothering me, and the financial situation only grew worse because in my specific region of my department in costuming, we were overstaffed. They hired too many costuming CPs. So I still do. I get 3 days off a week every single week. And that is not enough money, I feel like, to live here in the Commons. And also, one of the huge major differences of living on this program as opposed to my last program was that I was still in college and I was so dependent on my parents. I didn't have any kind of financial worries. Now, as somebody who's graduated college, I now have a car, so I have car insurance I have to make every single month. I have a credit card bill, which, you know, I've used my credit card to buy a brand new computer and a whole lot of tech equipment so I can make these kinds of videos and stuff. So I have much more money on a credit card than I would like, and I'm still trying to pay that off all the time. So the financial crunch was really getting to me. And I'm a kind of person who I need to be prepared, and I am a perfectionist. So those kinds of things like drove me nutso. Also the fact that now what comes next? I've graduated college. It's not like, okay, after my program ends, I'm going back to school and I'm finishing my degree. Now it's like, what are you doing? I knew that I did not want to work for Disney for the rest of my life, because I am a type of person who I cannot live day to day worrying about clocking in on time and getting points, and that kind of stuff makes me neurotic. And I couldn't work for a company that's just so corporatized like that. And I knew early on that I wanted to be my own boss once I grew up, you know. Even in high school, I was at a point where I'm like, is college even for me? I still am. I'm very like free spirit, whatever, do whatever kind of thing. Which is quite strange that I'm a perfectionist and I'm very over-prepared. So I think that's a very bad combination, which unfortunately I have. So knowing that I did not want to make Disney my career, it's difficult to be down here because there's so much pressure to either stay with a company in, you know, extending your program, going full-time, part-time after your program, applying for professional internships, and that's what you feel like you're supposed to do. You know, you watch these vlogs and you see all these people extend their program, come back and get all these professional internships, and it's so great for their career, and like DCP has done so much for me. So that's what I did. I applied to 11 professional internships and I got rejected for every single one of them. And it was kind of soul crushing a little bit because there were so many professional internships that I knew I would kill it at, that I was extremely qualified for. And my sister works at a career counseling department in one of the most highest ranks accredited universities in the entire country. So I've always had my sister to kind of help me with resumes and cover letters and things like that. So I knew that wasn't a problem either. So it was very disheartening to feel like I'm not good enough for these internships, even though I seem like I'd be a perfect fit. So that was, you know, another layer of like being very unhappy here. Because not only do you not feel like, if you can't get this position that you are so qualified for, how am I going to get any other positions in any other job? What am I doing next? So I know very much what I am explaining right now. So many people post-college, early 20s go through a quarter-life crisis. And honestly, I feel like if you are very focused on what comes next, the Disney college program is probably not right for you. I mean, I don't know you personally. I'm just saying, out of all of my friends who, you know, I've talked to and whatnot, I mean, I don't have many friends. That was also part of the problem, being so far away from my family. I was always very close with my family growing up. My sister's very close in age to me. Our brother, yes, he's younger than us, but he's very similar interests than us. So I never really needed other friends because I had my siblings and I kind of sucked at making friends. So I didn't need to. So being down here for so long, away from my family and my boyfriend, still is very difficult. And that was just like another layer, like to add on to the pile of misery, I guess. So if you feel like you are a type of person who puts too much pressure on yourself, who is very focused on having a plan, and somebody who is very close with their family, I do not recommend doing an Advantage program. I feel like the regular spring, fall semesters, those are only like 4 months. And, you know, by the time you get into the second month, first month you're not even thinking about it because it's just a whirlwind of like, oh my God, I have to set up my life down here. And, you know, the next month after that, you're kind of getting into the groove. And that way you only really have a month to enjoy it, because by the last month you're like, oh no, this is the end. I'm so upset. So I feel like if you want to do the Disney College program and you are unsure if you think it's going to be a good fit for you, don't apply for the Advantage programs. You can always extend your program if you want to stay, and that's fine. That's a great option. But I definitely feel like just because you love Disney doesn't mean the Disney College program will love you back. You know, working for Disney and loving Disney are two completely separate things. So I know this was a little bit of a downer video, but I want to keep it real with you guys. And if you guys have any questions about the realities of living on the Disney College program, let me know in the comments down below. I will always be checking them no matter what. Even if you find this video like years from now, like, I will respond to your comment. There are other ways to hit me up if you're not on the YouTube commenty world. You can find me on social media. Literally, my handle on everything is @ElizabethDare. It's always in the description down below. If you guys want any more of these talking videos, also let me know in the comments, just so I know, because I feel like I haven't really spoke about my job very much, even though it's kind of difficult to talk about my job. But my job is so cool. It's so fun. If you have any specific questions about costuming, so operational costuming I could speak to, entertainment costuming I could speak to, parade costuming, which is what I'm doing now, I could definitely speak to. So let me know. All right. click here to subscribe for more Disney content. I don't just do college program videos because, you know, I'm obsessed with Disney. All right, have a seamless day, everyone. Bye.